right, so what we do, this is multiplication, so we factor everything in the numerator, factor everything in the denominator, and then we can cancel because it's now written as a product. So those two factors cancel. These two factors cancel. So what we're left with is 2 over 5 times x plus 1, which could be written as 2 over 5x plus 5. Boop, 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 boop. Any questions? All right, next one.
Ms. Wilbur, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If you just put it as 2 over 5 and then didn't like change it to 5x plus 5, would it be wrong?
It depends on what the directions say. If the directions say to multiply, then you would want to go ahead and multiply that out. Okay? All right, this one, we're going to change it to multiplying by the reciprocal. So the 12 comes up here, the x minus 4 comes down there. Now, does the first one ever change? The dividend does not change. The one we're dividing into does not change. So it stays the same. We just have to factor it. So this is what we're dealing with. First thing we do is rewrite it from division to multiplying by the reciprocal. It's the reciprocal of the divisor. Only what we're dividing by do we flip. Okay, so this numerator factors to x minus 4 times x plus 3. And then we have the 12. This denominator has a GCF of 3, and then we have an x minus 4. So when we start to cancel, really nice things happen. The x minus 4's cancel. Oh, not exceptionally nice. That's it. Except for the 3. And the 3 goes into 12 4 times. So we're left with 4 times x plus 3 over x minus 3. And these, even though they're close, they're not the same. So they do not cancel. So our answer would be 4x plus 12 over x minus 3. All right, this one, the first one, the dividend does not change, the divisor does. So we're going to change it to multiplying by the reciprocal. So this becomes x over x minus 1. All right, so the dividend does not change, the divisor does. Division can also be written as multiplying by the reciprocal. So now we factor, and when we factor, we get x minus 4 times x minus 1, and an x, we got an x squared, and we have an x minus 1. So now we can cancel x minus 1, x minus 1. Two identical factors. This x cancels with one of those. So we are left with x minus 4 over x. Now, cannot cancel the x's. Why can I not cancel the x's? It is not multiplication. These are grouped together with subtraction. This binomial is one whole. We can't break it up. All right, this one is multiplication. So we can go straight into factoring and simplifying. So this numerator is 6. This numerator has a GCF of 8, and it leaves me x plus 5. This denominator factors to x plus 4 times x plus 5. And this denominator has a GCF of 6, and it leaves us with x minus 2. So we start to cancel, and we have an x plus 5 that cancels, a 6 that cancels. So in the numerator, I am only left with 8. And in the denominator, I am left with x plus 4 times x minus 2. Now guys, when you take SAT, ACT, anything that's multiple choice, they might leave the answer just like that. Okay? And that is a totally acceptable answer. Now, generally, when it does say multiply, once you simplify, you would want to multiply that back out. So this is x squared. That's a negative 2 and a positive 4, which is a positive 2x. And then that is a negative 8. Those 8s do not cancel because this trinomial is one group, one expression. So we cannot cancel that. All right, any questions about number 4? Okay, number 5 is multiplication. Those are nice. They're one less step. So this is 5 times x minus 3 times x cubed This is 4x squared. 6 times x minus 3. And then we can start to cancel because now everything is written as a product. This factor cancels completely with that factor. 2 of these x's will cancel with 2 of those and leave 1. So in the numerator, we're left with a 5 and an x. And in the denominator, we're left with a 4 times 6. And there's our answer. Okay, number 6. The first thing we're going to do is rewrite this division problem as multiplying by the reciprocal. So, my first fraction does not change. I do not flip the dividend. The divisor, I change to multiplying by the reciprocal. So the 48y cubed is here, the 14x cubed is there. Okay, so this time we have multiple variables. And when we go to cancel, we'll say 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 14 twice, 12 goes into 12 once, 12 goes into 48 4 times. One of these x's cancels with one of these. And now this 1 cancels with one of those. So in the numerator, I am left with a 4y cubed. In the denominator, I'm left, oh, I didn't finish. Shame on me. So 2 and 4. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. So what I'm really left with is 2y cubed. And in the denominator, I'm left with an x squared. Any questions? How are you guys doing? Are you doing well? Awesome. Okay, last 4. This one's division. So the first thing I do is rewrite it as multiplication. Okay, I'm going to kind of cheat and take out a step. I'm going to go ahead and factor. It's not really cheating. I'm going to go ahead and factor. I'm going to factor. Okay, so this one, we do not do the reciprocal of your first fraction. We do the reciprocal of the one we're dividing by. So I'm going to go ahead and factor when I flip it. So this becomes x minus 9 and x plus 1. This one I factor out the 3, which is the GCF, and I'm left with that. So now I may cancel. The x plus 1's cancel, the x plus 8 cancel. So in the numerator, I'm left with x minus 3 times x minus 9. In the denominator, I'm left with 2 times 3. So when I multiply this back, it gives me x squared minus 9 minus 3, which is a minus 12x, and then plus 27 over, let's see if I can do a better job with line, over 2 times 3, which is 6. All right, this one's awesome because I don't have to do anything. There's nothing to factor. So I can just start simplifying. So we need to keep in mind anything in a numerator with anything in a denominator, whether they're over the top of each other or they're diagonal, it works. So I'm going to say 10 here and here and switch this to 3 and 5. So 10 goes into 30 3 times, 10 goes into 55 times. And then I can say 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 24 3 times. There is nothing else I can do with my numbers, so now I can attack the variables. 2 of these cancel with 2 of those and leave 1, and then this one cancels with that one and leaves nothing. So all I'm left with is 3 times 3, which is 9 over 5, 9/5. All right, so number 9 and number 10, I'm just going to go ahead and factor and cancel. So number 9, it's straight out multiplication, so no reciprocals here. We're just going to factor our numerators, factor our denominators, and then we can look to see if anything cancels. Okay, on this one, the x plus 1's cancel. We can say 4 goes into 8 2 times, and then this x can cancel with one of these and leave 2. So in the numerator, I'm left with an x plus 7. In the denominator, I have a 2 times an 8x squared, which is a 16x squared. And then finally, number 10, I'm going to factor. All right, everything is factored. So once I factor, then I may simplify by canceling. And so I'm left with a 6 times 7, which is 42, over 5 times x minus 6, which is 5x minus 30. Okay, so finish up the puzzle for classwork and turn that in. Okay, so if you are showing your work on a separate sheet of paper, staple any work to the back. Okay, and then your homework is that worksheet 4. And then quiz tomorrow. So our quiz tomorrow is over simplifying, multiplying, and dividing, which is also what both of the assignments I just gave you are over. So tomorrow is going to be a short little quiz, a couple questions, and I hope to actually be able to get a head start on next week. Yes, ma'am. Let me look at my key, and I will answer that question. I don't remember right now.